In 2012, in the heart of St. Louis, Missouri, two names became symbols of a justice system under scrutiny: Marcus Bell and Officer Daniel Harris. Marcus, a 19-year-old black high school student, was stopped while walking home from his shift at a grocery store. Harris, a white police officer with 7 years on the force, claimed Marcus fit the description of a robbery suspect. That stop would ignite a legal battle that exposed the lingering shadow of racial bias in America's criminal justice. A walk home turns into a nightmare. It was a warm July evening. Marcus was carrying his uniform in a bag, headed to pick up supplies when he passed a nearby convenience store. A robbery had occurred 2 nights before. A man in a dark hoodie had entered, brandished a weapon, and fled with cash and cigarettes. No one was hurt, but the community was rattled. Officer Harris arrived shortly after, responding to a call that a black male, hoodie, had been seen near the store. He encountered Marcus and demanded his ID and possessions. Marcus complied, but when Harris asked him to show his backpack, he hesitated, hurt and confused. In that moment, Harris saw furtive movement. He authorized a pat-down, claimed to feel something suspicious, and then escalated to full search. The arrest and false charges. Inside the backpack were notebooks, receipts from Marcus's grocery shift, and a flashlight he used for studying at night. But to Harris, it looked like contraband tools used in a robbery. Marcus was handcuffed, read his rights, and taken to the police station. Hours later, he was charged with armed robbery under Missouri statutes. The robbery victim failed to identify him. No weapon was found. Security footage from the store before and after the crime showed no Marcus in the frame. Still, the DA's office offered Marcus a plea deal: 2 years in prison and 3 years of parole. He refused, confident he was innocent. The trial begins. In January 2013, the trial began. The prosecution brought only one piece of evidence: Officer Harris's testimony. He described Marcus as nervous, stumbling, and wearing clothes similar to the suspect. No physical evidence.
No weapon. No eyewitness. No matching CCTV.
But the jury saw authority on the stand. Marcus's defense attorney, public appointed, was overworked and underprepared. She called Marcus to testify. He said he'd been studying at home and working part-time. His testimony was calm, earnest, but the jury had heard an officer. After 2 days of deliberation, the jury convicted Marcus of armed robbery. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison and faced parole uncertainty. Life behind bars. For Marcus, prison was a harrowing place. He was locked in a cell 23 hours a day. He missed his younger sister's graduation, his mother's surgery, and birthdays. He earned his GED in solitary and spent hours writing letters to innocence projects and legal aid organizations. He refused to accept parole offers, fearing a lifelong criminal record more than his sentence. Each year, he appealed. With no new evidence, his requests were denied. But he never lost hope. A spark of hope, new evidence emerges. In 2017, a team from the National Criminal Justice Review Project, NCJRP, took up Marcus's case. They requested additional footage from the convenience store's parking lot. The owner reluctantly released footage showing a white man in a green hoodie entering and leaving near the time of the robbery. They also uncovered a report from the responding officer stating the suspect was seen in a white, not dark, hoodie, a detail omitted during trial. Additionally, phone GPS data proved Marcus was at work during the robbery. This became the breakthrough Marcus needed. Reopening the case. His new legal team filed a motion for post-conviction relief in 2018, alleging racial profiling, police bias, evidence suppression, and judicial negligence. In court, Officer Harris admitted under oath that he had overlooked the color detail before attributing it to minor discrepancy. The prosecutor's office revealed it had never reviewed the parking footage, citing budget restraints. The judge acted. In July 2019, the conviction was vacated. Marcus walked free after 7 years behind bars, rebuilding life and exposing systemic flaws. Marcus returned home to a life changed forever. His family embraced him. His sister, with tears in her eyes, said, "They broke you, but you proved them wrong." He enrolled in college, majoring in criminal justice policy, determined to overhaul the law from within. He spoke publicly. "My conviction wasn't a mistake. It was the result of a deeply flawed system that sees black bodies as threats." He helped draft legislation in Missouri requiring mandatory civilian review of questionable cases, free access to footage, and enhanced training on racial profiling. Governor CRT signed it into law in 2021, named the Marcus Bell Act. It set statewide guidelines to reduce stops based on vague descriptions and increase transparency during trials. The bigger pattern of racial bias. Across the country, similar stories unfolded. Data from the ACLU showed Black Americans are 3.5 times more likely to be arrested for minor crimes than white peers. A 2020 study found 1/3 of wrongful convictions involved Black or Latino defendants, centered on minimal evidence. Marcus's case became a rallying cry: no physical proof, no confession, no weapon, just a police interpretation. And that ended a young man's freedom. Where justice stands today. In 2023, Marcus testified before Congress. He spoke of 8 men on parole in Missouri still convicted under similar circumstances. Senators from both parties supported bipartisan reform to ensure video evidence is shared and racial profiling training is mandatory. His testimony sparked national attention. News coverage, podcasts, social media explodes under #Justice for Marcus, #StillBias. Documentaries captured his story, layered with images of a free young man now advocating for others. Reflection. A system under pressure. Marcus Bell's case proves that racial bias is not a relic of the past, it's alive in the system. It asks us, what is authority without accountability? How many innocent people remain behind bars, their lives stolen by assumptions? How much trauma can one man endure before he bursts into advocacy? Final question for the viewer. If one traffic stop can cost 7 years of your life, how many have lost their freedom without knowing it? Marcus chose to fight. Others might not. But justice demands more than opinion, it demands proof. Racial bias didn't end in the civil rights era. It lingered, until someone challenged it. When was the last time justice paused and asked for the truth? Let us know your opinion from the comment section. Like, subscribe and share our story.